I see here where you wrote that he bought the land, which is very good.
Yeah.
So,
A lot of conspiracy was going around in regards to whether government gave him the land or he bought the land. So out of his own mouth.
yes, he said it.
Yeah, he said it out
Okay,
of his
okay.
own mouth that he bought the land. Right?
Okay.
So,
Okay, so guys, to be honest with you, when it comes to major projects like this in Africa, it's not as easy
No.
as people make it seem that.
but
you know?
development overall, AP, in any country takes time.
Yes,
You know, from the
that's true.
ground up. Even before you start digging the foundation, there's a
Correct.
lot more work. You have to, depending on the design, you have to look at the engineering work, plumbing work. Everything has to be
Feasibility
like,
studies. So I wanted to say another thing that we realized after doing real estate in Gambia for 4 years now is that policies sometimes can set back
Yeah.
a project
yeah,
because government changes,
over time.
yeah, and they change their policies as well,
Right.
to benefit their agenda as a government, and that's what
Right.
they do. All
Right.
governments do that. But when it comes to real estate, policies can also hinder your progress.
Exactly so.
Especially if you're excited about the project and you're like, yo, this project is going to be a big project. Wait till it's finished. You look at the mock-up and you're like, my God, this is awesome. Yes, on this
Yeah,
launch.
yeah.
But you didn't look at the fine, the small details. You might say, oh, no problem. After I can talk to this guy, he will make certain things go.
And
Like I
in-
was saying, like in Gambia here, you have a lot of laws and a lot of policies that might hinder you from doing a development on a piece of land. There are certain checks that you must do on a land before you even think about putting a certain estate on the
Yeah,
land. Check the
yeah.
soil type, can the building structure that you're putting on the land, can the land withstand that weight? What kind of property can you do here? Is it just agricultural straight because the water level and there's so many things.
So many things.
you know?
Yeah, you're right, AP. I mean, like, when you also talk about government policies.
Yes,
So,
yes.
governments tend to change like within 4 years.
4 years.
So, if that government is changed within 4 years, even if your development was passed, there's
Yes.
a likely chance that if a new government come in place, that can also affect your development. I don't know how
Community
true it be.
dispute is big across Africa. Community dispute is big across Africa because, most of African lands or all of African lands are customary lands before the British and certain colonizers come into play and really start
Yeah.
to put their own laws in order to claim and own the lands for life. Like
Yeah.
freehold is not a land title that was originally there. Everything was customary owned or indigenously owned by the people who were first on the land that
Yeah.
these people come and see there. You understand? So people used to just, it's community. So your father, your mother get together, have you go and find another wife, have kids. Those kids inherit the lands that your people went and live on for a certain number of years, right? So what happened is those are the people that are now selling their lands to other people to come and live on. So there might be a certain dispute between the families that say, okay, you know what happened me? I don't agree with selling this land for these purposes here, while this one is saying I agree. And this one that agree will go and sell the lands without the ones that agree. And then you find, say, bam, clash,
Yeah.
all kind of stuff start happening. And then now you, the investor who put your money inside there, you don't stand a chance because guess what? The court is going to rule in the favor of the family all the time. I'm sorry, it's like that. So we
Well,
don't know.
majority of the time, not all. but
Well,
I
it
would say
depends on the
majority.
nature of the purchase. How was it purchased? Was there a contract in place? What process of was done in terms of the purchasing and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
I mean,
Yeah.
a quick example of like community disputes would be like, for example, the other day in Gambia, the youth stood up. They went to court in regards to a particular land that was sold in their community.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was to a developer or
it
what.
was to a developer.
To a developer.
Yeah.
As they said that the Alcala was the one who sold the land.
Yes.
Or give or allow whomever to sell the land, and that land was not a land for sale. You understand? So in that regards, that's an example of a community dispute, you know.
No, I agree with you because
Yeah.
because you know that I think that land was a cemetery. Like it was a cemetery. Not every land is for sale. You know, you don't have
Yeah.
to. Not every land you should cut and sell it. To be
Yeah.
quite honest with you, try and reserve some of the lands. Is good.
True.
You
Even
understand?
but AP, even outside of like the like for example family owning the land, government can also want a development taking place somewhere or pass a development somewhere, but the community members,
Yes.
after hearing what is going to take place there, they also
They say
think
they don't
about
want
their
it.
safety or things like that. So they will say, because that happened in Jamaica as well,
I know.
with the bauxite, you remember?
Yes. It
So
start to go into people's place, causing dust, making people sick. I know.
yeah, yeah.
I know. Were
But I
those
don't
people
think
qualified?
providing thousands of jobs meant hiring them as developers or construction. I
Like
mean,
laborers.
yeah, maybe laborers.
Okay,
You
okay,
know, but
okay.
for you to bring off a design like this or an architecture, let me use that word for better use.
Yeah. But design
An
is nice.
architecture like this, you need engineers and what you call those people again, the contractors
You
that
need
understand
contractors,
the design
engineers.
and understand the material that you need to bring off the design
Yes.
and the whole functionality of the spaces that is to be built.
The funniest thing is also though, as you are correct, is that in the same video that we were watching, he went there and he only saw one structure on the land. Right.
Yeah.
And that one structure that he saw on the land was somehow similar to what we saw in that, 3D model of the city. And, it could have been possible, I think, if there wasn't something that was delaying that project, in real estate. Guys, to be honest with you, real estate in Africa is not easy,
That's
especially
true.
if you're building near water.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's the sea or the river. If you're building near water, you and the government might have a problem because governments, they see these lands as prime lands for them. They want to keep these lands. So the more
For their
inland you
tourism
are,
developments.
the more inland you are, the better
That's true.
when it comes to that. You just speak of lack of material. Based on the 3D module that I saw, everything was futuristic. So it's like, yo, where are you going to even find these type of materials to put there? It's one thing to design a city, but it's another thing to build the city.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
on the digital layout of the city, you can make it look anywhere you want. You can even put wings on it, flying cars.
That's
And that's
true.
what you want in a dream world kind of approach. But in a physical world, do you even have the material to do it? Has this city ever been built anywhere? What feasibility studies was done in a city like this to say, yes, this material, I can find it in South Africa or Nigeria or Ghana? Because you have to think about how close you have to go to find these kind of materials to build a
I
city.
like how you say that, AP. Before you buy the land to say you're going to do that development there,
Yeah.
I think a feasibility study should have done before that.
Yeah, feasibility
You
study
understand?
should be done before anything.
You
Pass.
could go to the area, check the soil type of the area before, find out from an engineer, like if I wanted to build a city like this, in an area like this, what materials is suitable for me to use, how do I design it so that the weather, because you also have to think of the weather, how it's gonna affect the whole construction and stuff like that.
That's correct.
In the 3D AutoCAD, you would say, I'm thinking that that type of building material is not existing
Yeah,
in
yes, but the concrete, with the concrete, it was possible to do it still because that small thing that was built and left there, it wasn't bad. What they could use is maybe some glass, maybe some, original African copper or some. Me, I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
AP, to be
find a
hon-
way to
no,
make
to
it
be
come
honest
out.
with you-
Use mud. Use ram hurt. Something.
Aha. Okay, now, wait.
Anything.
Wait, let me get to a point here
Sure.
because, like, what I saw, to be honest with you, I saw a lot of that like the design in waves
That's what I'm telling you.
from the ocean or whatever.
Yes.
So some of those structures, to be honest, I'm not seeing concrete.
You're seeing mud.
I'm seeing something else other than
Ram
concrete.
earth.
Maybe ram earth. Maybe I don't know, but not concrete. Because to form that out the way how they have it,
I think ram earth. I think using the traditional African building style would have been ideal for something like this. And some people might laugh and say, "Epi, what are you talking about?" First thing, it would have been more affordable. You would need less money to build something like that. And it would actually be freaking awesome to see an entire city built from a traditional standpoint instead of this
yeah.
futuristic traditional standpoint instead of glassy type. Because Africa, when it comes to Africa, Africans are walking away, are throwing away their traditions to try and fit in with the rest of the world. You understand? I think a more mud type is good. Me, I like it. I don't know what to say about you. If you guys like it, comment and let us know, sir.
I dig the idea, but I think it also could be modernized. Remember,
Yeah, but what is modernized? What is
when I
modernized?
say modernized, because you're saying glossy, I mean it still can be glossy with mud.
Yes, I didn't say. That's what I said.
Okay.
If you use the mod, right, and you can add some of the features that are going to make it look like popping. You say it's not plain and there is some style to it.
Understand.
Then you can do that. It's just a matter of mixing the trendy with the tradition and come up with something fresh.